I am going live on YouTube. If you can hear me, can you hear me? Yes, I'm going live. There I am. Yes, yes, I can hear me. Okay, is that okay? Okay, I am investigating the beautiful Beatitudes. Beatitudes, attitudes. Uh, it's bodhicitta. Mm. Bodhicitta. Bodhi refers to wake up and think clearly. Uh, Chitta is the heart mind. So bodhicitta is the attitude that everything I do for you. That I too can be Christ like. Okay, so how to be Christ like with the attitudes of Bay attitudes. Okay, so I'm reading from mm, The Gospel According to Jesus by Stephen Mitchell, a new translation and guide to his essential teachings for believers and unbelievers. I don't believe it. Yes, it's also for unbelievers. Believe it or not. Okay, so what about the Beatitudes on page 158 of this book, which hmm, consists of over 309 pages? It is written, it says, Stephen Mitchell says, the Sermon on the Mount never took place in actuality, but is only a collection of Jesus' teachings compiled by Matthew. And then, according to Luke, in his shorter collection, the sermon was actually given on a plain. So there's a discrepancy there. Matthew says he gave it on a mount. Luke says he gave it on a plain. Well, maybe those are, maybe this Jesus goes around giving rallies. So in each rally, he gives the same old speech, right? So it could be possible that he had a rally on a mount, and then sometime later, he had a rally on a plane. There you go. That solved the puzzle. Okay. Anyway. Hmm. And large crowds followed him from Galilee and the Decapolis and Jerusalem and Judea and beyond the Jordan. And seeing the crowds, he went up on a hill. And when he had sat down, his disciples gathered around him, and he began to teach them and said, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of God. Blessed are those who grieve, for they will be comforted. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Okay, so that's the beginning of chapter 5 of Matthew. Mm, so there's always been pondering or in wondering about the first blessed. Blessed are the poor in spirit. What the what the does poor in spirit mean? For the most profound clarification of this verse, see Meister Eckhart's sermon on it, in, in which he defines a person who is poor in spirit as one who wants nothing and knows nothing and has nothing. Okay, he wants nothing, so he's free from desires. Knows nothing. He is in a humble state of mind, where then, by assuming that attitude of knowing nothing, he will obtain something and has nothing. So he's renounced all possessions, and yet he can still have some things enough for survival and think of them as tools that he is borrowing. Mm, okay, while he's here. So, a translation of the complete sermon appears in the Enlightened Mind. Huh? Of Meister Eckhart, I guess. Let's go on to the next blessed. Blessed are those who grieve. Uh-huh. Oh no, that's the second one. Okay, yeah, that's the second blessed after the blessed. Those are blessed are the, not those. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Then there's blessed are those who grieve. So Ramakrishna, he said, mm, people weep rivers of tears because they don't have a child or can't get money, but who sheds even one drop because he, but who sheds even one teardrop because he has not seen God. Okay. I will, I will, I will try to imagine. I will be, I will get into a, into an attitude, into a world where I could shed a tear for not knowing God. Mm, not seeing God, not knowing God. Maybe knowing God is more complete than seeing God. Mm, maybe. And in knowing God, you would not just see God, you would taste God, feel God, be God. Hmm, I would think. Hmm. So, oh man, I haven't. I'm 64 years old and I still don't know God. What a shame. And I bought all these books and I've lightly read some of them and I still don't know God. Oh my God. Doesn't it make me want to cry? Let's sing a song about that. Maybe it's a good song might come out of it. Uh, Let's see. I have bought these silly things, these silly books, but I still don't know God. But I still don't know God. I have found these silly books, these silly books, these silly books. Oh, and I feel mine with these silly books, these books, these silly books. But I still, but I still haven't found time for what I still find. No, I still don't know God. But I don't know God. I have bought these silly books, these silly books, and I look these books, these books. Oh, but still haven't found. No, no, but I still don't know Don't know God, but I still don't know God. I have bought these silly books, these silly books. I love these books once in a while, but I still don't know God. But I still don't know God. I look at these books, these books once in a while, once in a while. While. But I still don't know. But I still don't know. Don't know. But I still don't, don't know God. But I still don't know. Oh, God. I should cry. I should cry. I should shed a tear. I should cry. I should cry. I should shed a tear. Because I still don't know. I still don't know God. Keep buying, keep buying, I keep buying these silly books. And I still don't know God. I should, I should shed a tear, shed a tear, but I still don't know God. Oh, oh, yeah, still, I haven't shed a tear yet. I haven't shed a tear yet. Maybe I need to cook, chop some onions, then I'll shed a tear. Maybe I could hit myself, cause pain, and then maybe I'll shed a tear. Mm, Shed a tear for God. Uh, Shed a tear for my lack of knowledge of God. This thing's falling apart. Mm, Okay. Hmm. Okay. Uh, back to where was I? Okay, yes. Ramakrishna said, people weep rivers of tears because they don't have a child or can't get money. But who sheds even one teardrop because he has not seen God and not known God? Uh, who has known God? Who has seen God? Uh, mm. So, can one see God by studying the Gospels? Let's find out. So, so yes, if there is one grief, one shedding of tear that is worthwhile having, that would be the shedding of one teardrop because one has not seen God. That is a tremendous grief. That is a most fruitful grief. But all grief, if experienced attentively enough, can be fruitful. Rilke, that's the name of a person, talking about a moment of ultimate jubilant affirmation, says, "Oh, oh, I get a phone call. It's the boss. Hmm, hmm. Okay, then I gotta get going to work. Okay, let me finish off my train of thought. So yes, the most the most fruitful grief would be trying to have a grief for not knowing, for not having yet seen God, or having, or even worse, w- n- n- realizing that one may never see God in this life, in this present life. Maybe in a future life, one would see God. So there's hope. So, but Rilke, whoever that is, I don't know, Rilke, talking about a moment of ultimate jubilant affirmation, says, how dear you will be to me then, you nights of anguish. Why didn't I kneel more deeply to accept you, inconsolable sisters, and surrendering, lose myself in your loosened hair? How we squander our hours of pain, how we gaze beyond them into the bitter duration, to see if they have an end, though they are really seasons of us, our winter, enduring foliage, ponds, meadows, our inborn landscape, where birds and reed dwelling creatures are at home. uh, is the that comes from the a work titled "Original Version of the Tenth Elegy." Uh, or maybe that's the title of a poem, maybe, which is found in the book titled "The Selected Poetry of Rainer Maria Rilke," edited and translated by Stephen Mitchell. Random House, 1982, page 217. Hmm. Hmm. So, uh, Rainer Maria Rilke in a poem says, "How dear you will be to me then, you nights of anguish. Why didn't I kneel more deeply to accept you, inconsolable sisters, and surrendering lose myself in your loosened hair? How we squander our hours of pain! How we gaze beyond them into the bitter duration to see if they have an end, though they are really seasons of our winter. No, seasons of us, our winter, enduring foliage, ponds, meadows, our inborn landscape, where birds and reed-dwelling creatures are at home." Hmm. So Rilke is talking about a moment of ultimate jubilant affirmation. So maybe Rilke is showing us that we can transform our grief into a moment of jubilant affirmation by seeing that in our pain, we can look at the bright side. Our winter, uh, in our winter, there are birds and creatures that find home in our winter. Mm. uh the this beatitude about blessed are those who grieve, and the next one after that concern people who are still searching for the kingdom of God, not people who have already found it. So what is the next beatitude that is also concerned for those who are still searching but still haven't found what they're looking for? So uh the next one that is like the one about grief is this one that goes like this: "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness." W- 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 Hunger and thirst for righteousness. So the exemplar of this spiritual state, or maybe it's an attitude, a beatitude, an attitude of always hungering and thirsting for righteousness, is exampled in Job, Job, as in the book of Job, The greater the hunger, the greater the fulfillment. The Jewish Alexandrian philosopher Philo from 20 BCE to around 50 CE said, when the righteous man searches for the nature of all things, he makes his own admirable discovery that everything is God's grace. Every being in the world and the world itself manifests the blessings and generosity of God. Everything is God's grace. Every being in the world and the world itself manifests the blessings and generosity of God. So we will have to include evil as a a thing that is included in as being part of everything. Everything including evil, every every being in the world and the world itself, including evil, manifests the blessings and generosity of God. Right? We have to be inclusive of everything. Or we have to transform evil into something lovable so that we can say evil is in the is evil is manifesting in in our enemy. But is it really manifesting in our enemy? It's really manifesting in our mind. We see our enemy and we see the evil that the enemy is acting upon us. Yes, it's very real, and yet it's all in our mind because another mind seeing the same person would not find that person evil and would not even find that person an enemy. That person might be a friend, might be a son or daughter or lover or father or mother. So that person sees the same person in another way than we do. So whatever we see is of something outside of us. That we see is not inherent in that object. That is interdependently involved in manifesting what we conclude as being our enemy, as being evil. But now that we know that, we can realize that it can be changed, it can be transformed from evil into grace. So let's transform all our evil into grace. Because as the Jewish Alexandrian philosopher Philo said, when the righteous man searches for the nature of all things, he makes his own admirable discovery that everything is God's grace. In other words, as Buddhists say, that everything is empty of inherent existence. That is emptiness, the interconnectedness. Everything is God's grace. Every being in the world and the world itself manifests the blessings and generosity of God. But this is hard to swallow. But that's why the Jewish Alexandrian philosopher Philo says that when the righteous man searches for the nature of all things, so the righteous man is perhaps that that man who who has developed what that beatitude suggests. He has developed a hunger and a thirst for righteousness. So that is the righteous man. Then that righteous man has been searching, but he still hasn't found what he's looking for. No, he searched and searched, and he's actually found that what he's looking for doesn't exist inherently. Well, he's found that everything that he sees is laced with God's grace. Everything is God's grace. Every being in the world and the world itself manifests manifests the blessing and generosity of God. So he's found maybe not what he thought he was looking for. He found God in everything. Everything is God's grace. Is not precisely God. Everything is not precisely God, but everything is a manifestation of the blessing and generosity of God. And with that, I leave you to ponder what we have read thus far. Thank you, Stephen Mitchell. Thank you for writing the gospel according to Jesus. That was page 158, 159 on the Beatitudes. And this uh, book was written in approximately, I can't find this. But can't believe it. Oh, here it is. Hmm. Okay, he was born in 1943. That makes him about 80. It looks like this was published in 1991. Or the first edition, the hardcover edition was published in 1991. Mm, this one, the paperback, might have been a little later. It doesn't say. Maybe 1993. Yeah, 1993, but the hardcover in 1991. So thank you, Stephen Mitchell, for your um, broad and deep investigations into the Gospels of Jesus and how you present it in a more perennial, uh, more expensive way that may come as a shock to some and uh, and might even uh, insult some. Let's see. Did you find anything in what was read somewhat counter to traditional Christian doctrines, maybe? Christian beliefs, maybe? Hmm. Now I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. Oh boy, I gotta go. Oh, oh, I gotta go. 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 Bye. Okay, so thank you for listening so far. May your day be blessed. May you be humble and seek the word, the words, the thoughts, the intentions of Jesus of Nazareth. Have a good day. Bye. Oh,